Let's watch this real quick.
We all know the UFC underpays fighters, especially starting contracts on $10,000 to show, $10,000 to win. But have you ever really asked yourself why?
No.
They just don't have enough money.
No, definitely not
For
that.
example,
they got a lot of
UFC
money. They
306, the worst floor seat cost was $12,000. One seat, $12,000. That means one chair was worth more than a fighter who showed up, fought, and lost. So why is this happening? One short, one long.
Yeah, I ain't know what happened. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know what happened. I got scared.
The short answer, they don't need to pay more. The long answer, let's break it down. In the 2000s,
let's break it down.
MMA wasn't just the UFC. There was real competition like Pride in Japan, Strikeforce in the US, WEC, or Elite XC. If you were a fighter back then, you had options. And because you had options, the UFC had to pay more. It wasn't perfect, but it wasn't a monopoly. But instead of fighting competition, they did what billionaires always do.
Cheat.
They bought the competition. Pride, bought and shut down. Strikeforce, bought and absorbed. WEC, gone. Elite XC, collapsed. And the UFC picked up the pieces. One by one, the options disappeared.
That look schmad. That's a
only Bellator
schmad.
was left standing. At first, Bellator was a solid competitor. They picked up whatever the UFC did.
That's look
like
schmad.
Rampage Jackson and Chael Sonnen. They had few solid names like Are You Not Entertained?
Are you not entertained?
Patricio Pitbull, Michael Venom Page, Douglas Lima, Shlemenko, and others. Bellator wasn't
I've
the
never
UFC,
heard about them
but
guys.
It was real. It kept some pressure on the system. Until it didn't. Over time, Bellator fell apart. Bad business, bad matchmaking, bad leadership. And while Bellator crumbled, the UFC kept rising. The 2010s were the years of McGregor. Massive fights, massive pay-per-views. By the mid-2010s, the UFC wasn't just the biggest promotion.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep it a buck, bro. Y'all think I could join the UFC for like a day, bro? Like just like really like get in a ring with somebody, really like do it to them. Cause I'm nice, bro. So I don't think I'm gonna lose. If I get in that jump, bro, I'm not gonna lose. I'm not gonna lose. Keep it buck, bro. Me versus Conor McGregor, you and his problem, I'm cooking.
Everything changed.
And John Jones
didn't
too.
have to fight for talent anymore. They owned the talent. If you were a fighter, you had two choices: sign with the UFC or fade into obscurity. Bellator tried to compete for a while, but it never reached the same level. And now Bellator is gone too, bought by the PFL, another so-called option off the table. The UFC became the gatekeeper to fame, to money, to legacy, and when you control everything, you control the prices too. Now, yes, if you're a big name, you're probably getting paid. Adesanya, John Jones, or Paddy Pimblett, you're bringing eyeballs, you're moving numbers, you're valuable.
Facts.
And for those guys, the UFC cuts bigger checks.
That's the thing about this, bro. Like even in the porn industry, I know that sounds crazy, but think about it. Even when it come to that, the contract, like it's a lot. Like it's a lot that go into it. Let's say it's one thing, is one entity that owns all of these. So let's say PH owns BB, Bang Bros, it own this, it own Brazzers, it own all of this. One person might think, oh, I'm going here. You're still working for the same people either way, gang. And I know that's a crazy explanation. That's the only thing I can think of. But then the contracts will still cook you. They say $20,000 for you to take it up your butt and get your eyes gouged out while getting finger fucked. Like the shit get crazy, bro. Shit get OD crazy. So that's what this reminds me of, bro. I'm gonna keep it buck. That's what it reminds me of. And I think that's pretty accurate depictions.
As they should. But for the rest, for the guys trying to break through,
it's like a monopoly almost.
Garbage it's been for over a decade. 10 and 10. Since at least 2010. And the $50,000 bonus. Same as it was back in the Brock Lesnar days. Meanwhile, the UFC's business exploded. The pay-per-view prices went up. The gate numbers tripled. And Dana White can't stop talking about how he's breaking all the gate records.
The gate was 11.5 million. UFC now holds number 1, 2, and 3 highest gate record of all time at the Kaseya Center.
The UFC is making 10
what the hell is the gate?
2010. But fighters at the bottom, they're stuck at 10 and 10. Maybe you can live with the fact that the UFC is a business first. But the one thing that shouldn't slip...
All right, but here's what it is for me. Okay, they get paid that much for a fight. But then also when it come down to deals and all that, like I think the way it break up, I think they at least making... I say $200K like a fight. Now I know that might sound like a stretch. Now do I know what the fuck I'm talking about? Absolutely not. But you know I say that because they be partnering with some big brands, gang, and also there be a lot of betting going on. There'll be a lot of stuff going on, so you never know what people like, what kind of pots the fighters' hands is in. You feel me? So I think that's why they're making at least $100K per fight. At least. Feel me?
Through the cracks is the starting contract. 10 plus 10 is disgusting. It's criminal. Let's do the math. You fight for 10 and 10. You lose. You only get 10. You pay taxes. Now you're at 7. You pay your trainer and your manager. You're left with 4, maybe 5. $4,000 for months of training, weight cuts, brain damage. Honestly, it's literally better to beg on the street than to lose a UFC fight.
Yeah, that's
It's not just
crazy.
about low
That's
pay.
crazy.
It's about control.
So them niggas
The
really be
UFC
wanting to
controls
win.
everything. Who you fight, when you fight, what you get paid, and what sponsors you're allowed to have. You want to wear your own sponsor in the cage? No.
I lied.
UFC approved logo.
I
And
lied.
guess who gets the check? Not you. Remember when
I
fighters
lied,
could
Chad. I
earn
lied. I
real
thought I knew.
sponsor money? 5 figures, 6 figures. Now they get
See,
a
I
tiered
thought
bonus
that's what
based
it
on
was.
how many UFC fights they've had. And it's not just sponsors. The UFC controls pay-per-view money too. You'd think if you're a champion, you got, let's say, $2 per pay-per-view buy, and your fight sells 1 million pay-per-views, $2 million, right? No. Here's how it actually works. From 0 to 500,000 buys, you only get $1 per buy. From 500,000 to 750,000, you get $1.50. Only after that.
Yo, these niggas are scamming. Yo, Dana White, be honest, bro. You scamming, gang. You scamming. Let's be honest, Dana. You scamming for sure.
750 to
Dana's
1 million.
a scammer.
You get $2 per
Cool,
buy. So
Hardy.
instead of getting $2 million, you get $1,375,000. So even if you sell out the arena, you're still getting scaled percentages like it's a phone data plan. And here's the thing. You can't complain. You can't speak out, because if you do, you might never get booked again.
Damn, wait, that's what happened with Francis
and
Ngannou?
sponsorships or contracts. It's about how the business is structured. The UFC isn't just a fight promotion. It's the center of the MMA world. Now, if you want to be seen as the best, you fight in the UFC. Simple as that. The UFC decides who gets signed, who gets pushed, who gets paid. You don't negotiate like a free agent. You accept what's on the table or you don't fight. And most fighters can't afford to walk away because there's nowhere else to go. That's just what happens when one company becomes the market.
I ain't gonna lie, I'd rather sell crack than fight in the UFC.
But it also means they don't have to share much.
Today, I'm working with Topps and giving away a prize pack of trading cards worth over $5,000.
Maybe this is just how the fight business works.
If you don't like it, there's a simple solution to this problem. Go start your own MMA organization, no barrier to entry, knock yourself out, pay them whatever you want to pay them.
But if
I'm telling you, it's not gonna happen. Like, it's like niggas be knowing what they be doing. It's like, yo, I got the niggas winning, bro. Dana's winning, bro. He's winning. He knows what he is doing. And it doesn't even take a smart person to do it. It's just the fact that he's in the position he's in, so therefore he has leverage. And mind you, let's say 100,000 people is watching the UFC. You want to go start something called the BBC. You go start the BBC. Okay, niggas like, oh, okay, 5 niggas come over from the UFC. I promise you, you're gonna go into foreclosure. You're gonna lose money that you put in, and you will fail. And Dana White is gonna be sitting there looking at you like, oh, you want me to buy you out? You want me to buy you out? I will. And then he give you a check for $300,000, and that does absolutely nothing for you. And you sell for all that you could, but you're still under. You're still under, and you will forever be under unless you go and join the UFC. But at that point, you are still going to be under for a very long time, unless you become one of the top fighters, which then it probably won't happen because they have the leverage to push you, to shelf you, to not give you any fights, to not let you fight who you want to fight, to not let you do your own sponsorships. They will hold you hostage, all because you wanted to create your own individuality. It's a lose-lose situation, honestly, which, you know, that's kind of a bad field to go into.
Entering that system,
Bad
you should
field,
know
bad
exactly what you're
field.
signing up for.
Facts, bro. I'm not gonna lie, that's OD facts.